What happened while we were away, brought to you by the latest drive-by hoax. CNN was the first of a few mainstream media outlets to rush out with this story, citing unnamed sources who were purportedly briefed on intel assessments of the damage the United States did to Iran's nuclear capabilities, which stated that we didn't do much damage after all. Maybe that's why Trump was so crabby yesterday morning.
CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit.
This morning at a NATO summit, Secretary of State Marco Rubio dismissed the story's claims.
All the stuff about the intelligence, this is what a leaker is telling you the intelligence says. That's the game these people play. They read it, and then they go out and characterize it the way they want it characterized, and they're leakers. This is the game they play. So that's number one. Number two, here's a fact. The conversion facility, which you can't do a nuclear weapon without a conversion facility. We can't even find where it is, where it used to be on the map. You can't even find where it used to be because the whole thing is just blackened out. It's gone.
It's wiped out.
It's wiped out. Then we dropped 12 of the strongest bombs on the planet right down the hole in two places. Everything underneath that mountain is in bad shape. And I refer you to the statement of the IAEA, Mr. Grossi. You know what he said? He said there was Iran, the way it looked the day before the attack, and what their nuclear program looks like now. Two very different things. They are way behind where they were just 7 days ago. Now, anything in the world can be rebuilt. But now we know where it is, and if they try to rebuild it, we'll have options there as well. But all this leaker stuff, these leakers are professional stabbers. That's what they are. They go out and they read this stuff, and then they tell you what it says against the law, but they characterize it for you in a way that's absolutely false.
Also at that NATO summit, Trump announced non-U.S. members have agreed to increase their share of defense spending to 5% of those countries' GDP. Back at home, federal agents arrested 11 Iranian foreign nationals in 48 hours, including one watch-listed individual, as part of a series of targeted operations spanning 8 states and 9 cities nationwide. One arrestee is a former IRGC Special Forces operator living in St. Paul, Minnesota, and another was a highly trained IRGC sniper arrested in Alabama. In New York City, Zoran Mamdani has won the Democrat primary for mayor, beating former New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo. Mamdani is a self-described Democratic socialist, backed by AOC and Bernie Sanders, hates police, loves Hamas, wasn't born in this country, has promised oodles of free stuff, and is generally just the baseline Democrat in the year 2025. Interestingly, according to New York Times exit polls, Mamdani was overwhelmingly opposed by those making under $50,000 a year in New York City, while overwhelmingly supported by every income bracket higher than that. Mamdani will now take on current New York City mayor and independent Eric Adams, along with Republican Curtis Sliwa. The vice mayor of a town in Los Angeles County, Cynthia Gonzalez, is now under federal investigation for posting this video where she calls on criminal gangs to protect illegals from immigration and customs enforcement raids.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting
and Gonzalez posted the video late last week, then deleted it and says the FBI later visited her home and she's now under active federal investigation. And finally, Vice President JD Vance with stories from the Oval Office.
And the president looks over at me, puts the foreign leader on mute and says, "This is not going very well," and he presses the red button. And my eyes get really big, and I'm like, "Mr. President, you know, what just happened?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Nuclear." Nuclear. And 2 minutes later, a guy walks in with a Diet Coke, and he looks back at me and he says, "It wasn't nuclear, it's just the Diet Coke button." And So that's the kind of guy, and my fellow Republicans, that we have as the President of the United States.
And that's what happened while we were away.